1822, you know, they had to do this. Oh, yes, bit of a shock when you think about it, because in 1822, the new burgeoning postal service over here in the United Kingdom, well, the bottom line really was that they had to employ extra staff simply because the story had got around that the royals were in fact sending out Valentine's cards. Yes, Valentine's cards. And this, as I often say here on the show, chums, is the power of royalty, because at that point they would have been our influencers. You know, you have to think about exactly how people look towards those people. You see, when they went to have their, you know, huge sort of get-togethers and banquets and balls and things at Kensington Palace and at Buckingham Palace, people would line up outside so the carriages could go slowly, so that the women, you know, could wind down the window and you could see a little bit of their refinery, you know, the opera glasses, the men in the top hats, the tails, the white gloves. That was all to push it, you know. Now, the reason why I mention this is because when you think about it, we've just had a recent sort of spate of, shall we say, real royals and non-real royals releasing Valentine's pictures. There we had, of course, that I thought a charming picture of the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine, where he's planting a kiss on her cheek. I just thought it was the right level of, you know, not too over the top. The other, yes, kind of, I mean, it just put me in mind of I must get some sink plungers. Do you know what I mean? What is that about? I mean, you know, you can try too hard. Love the fact as well that Meghan's team were able to let us know exactly where that dress came from. I could see the stampede erupting now, can't you, chums? Absolutely. Where it gets interesting, I was talking to a chum of mine who was a big star in musical theatre, and he told me a very strange story about just how unromantic His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, was. You see, the Queen apparently was quite romantic, you know, one of those sort of people that liked all the stars, the flowers, the refinery. It was the little things that charmed her, rather than obviously, you know, everything that she saw on an everyday basis. And apparently Prince Philip had to be sort of pushed in this direction on a number of occasions. And this particular singing star was appearing at a major royal event at Windsor Castle. And one of the songs that he was singing from was the musical South Pacific. I won't give the game away, but one of the favourite songs from that musical was apparently the song for the Queen and Prince Philip. And according to that particular musical star, meeting Philip afterwards, he said, oh, you know, enjoy the show? Yes. He said, did the Queen enjoy it? You know, yes, I'm sure she enjoyed it. Yes. He said, no, because we heard it's your song. And apparently he said, is it? And so he sort of said, well, you know, we were told that this was, you know, like your, no, you got, you know. Now, apparently, and this is where it gets even more interesting, in their latter years of their marriage, they thought that perhaps they should put out a Valentine's message as a sort of, you know, not sloppy, but just a nice message of unity, marriage, romance, that sort of stuff. No, Philip wasn't having any of that stuff and nonsense. He didn't agree with it. No. People didn't need to be reminded from him about romance. Absolutely not. Now, apparently the Queen thought this was quite a nice idea. But of course, she always deferred on things like this. So that's really why you never saw a sort of Valentine's, you know, message as we're now seeing in a more modern day era. What Philip said was, you know, the less they see, the more they'll enjoy. Basically, a lot of people thought, no, he's not that bothered. And according to a well-placed source, he always had to be reminded well in advance, even the Queen, about birthdays, anniversaries, and yes, Valentine's. So it just goes to show, royal or not, men are pretty useless at doing stuff like this. Anybody else agree, fellas? Neil Sean, Hyde Park, London.